What's up, Moyak family? We are back at
Moyak.
it. It's been too long. Joshua, how are you, man?
Tired, excited, and ready for this weekend.
It's definitely a big week for us at Moyak. It's championship week. Gonna be down at Table Rock Lake. Man, and here later in this episode, we're gonna talk to Troy and Richie, talk to them about their national championship and also Table Rock week this weekend. It's gonna be a good conversation with those guys. It always is. Man, I'm excited, dude. We got Missouri State Championship. We got the Bass Nation going on this weekend. There's a lot of stuff happening right now for Moyak.
Yep, Team Trail Championship. We're going to crown our first ever Team Trail champions. In our first ever championship, it's double and a half points, time and a half points. You know, we have never done that before, so that's all new. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to championship week. I'm looking forward to the Bass Nation and then hearing the teams. Right, a couple weeks after this, we've got the AAKC. That one is turning into an event, man. It's pretty cool seeing. We had one club, the Great Lakes Club. We had a Colorado club get signed up, submit their rosters. So soon after the national championship, or our championship, we'll be headed up to Truman, man. That's going to be an exciting event as well.
Yes, the rosters are coming in daily from clubs from all over the country. So there's going to be a broad spectrum of anglers from all over. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. It'll be an awesome time to get together with other clubs and other stuff. It'll almost be like a second national championship. But let's get into the Moyak Championship, the Missouri State Championship. Let's talk about that this weekend. Of course, it's at Table Rock. Where are we meeting up at, Josh?
Due to the restrictions and all this other stuff, we're just going to keep it simple like we have been. We're going to do an online captains meeting. I'll go ahead and record that and post it up Thursday so that everybody's got a good full day to watch it at home before they're traveling. And, I'll be able to answer any questions anybody might have. So I'm going to get the captain's meeting out a little bit earlier this time. So then there's going to be no check-in on Saturday. Just get on the water and go fish. If you can, use the Tourney X app, check in and check out feature. After the tournament, we're not going to check in either. Just go ahead and go on back to your cabin or your campsite and get ready for the next day. So then Sunday morning, repeat the process, and then we're all going to meet back at Indian Point Marina at the pavilion on Sunday afternoon for our awards banquet and our year-end season awards. So it's going to be a good one. We got a lot of hardware to give away. We've got a lot of champions to crown. We've got a lot of anglers to acknowledge and recognize. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, man.
Man, there's a lot of stuff going on at that award ceremony.
Yeah.
A lot of guys are going to be there. It's exciting, man. I'm looking forward to it. Let's talk about talking about awards and all that stuff. We've got quite a few to hand out. So we will award a Missouri State Championship to one guy for that. We'll have the Bass Nation Championship, a champion for that.
Yep.
We've got the Team Trail, so we'll hand out those awards. We still have the Rookie of the Year, DJ. We're going to hand that out to him. We've got our AOI, Mr. Lance Burris. We've got our online AOI, Mr. Jared Fosno. And then we've got our Sportsman of the Year award. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on and a lot of people that are going to be getting some hardware there.
And that's just on the state championship side. We got the Bass Nation side going on too. We've got plaques for those top five. We've got some Kistler rods, some custom. Man, these kayak cushions that we got for everybody, they're for the top five winners. Wow. They're a custom kayak cushion, black and white, that says it's got the Missouri Bass Nation logo right on it. And man, they look good. That's pretty cool. So we're going to have some prize packs too. Solar bat sunglasses. I mean, there's both sides. We've got the state championship going on and the Bass Nation going on. So yeah, lots of stuff to give away. And I know it's a lot this year. It's just kind of the way things worked out. But I will say too that going forward for next season, we won't have tournaments stacked up like this no more. The Bass Nation event's going to be on its own. A state championship's going to be on its own. Everything's going to be standalone. So.
It's funny that I say that, but we're almost used to it now. Last year we had the KBF event on top of our championship, was really cool to see some of those guys that compete on the national level come to our event and be there. But I mean, yeah, it's going to be next year could be completely different, especially this year how it is. And
next year, the way next year's looking is no local clubs are going to be taking care of and hosting events for these big series anymore. Like KBF is going to run their own stuff. So we'll have our own schedule. KBF will have their own schedule. They'll be completely separate. Now, it is possible that they'll have an event in our area. I will say that much. Talks of Bassmaster could be coming to the area. I've even heard rumors of Hobie coming to the area next year. So if we're lucky, we could be looking at all three doing their own thing, and we still do our own thing. So these won't even be stacked events. They'll be separate events. It's just more tournaments for anglers in Missouri. So that'll be cool if that happens.
You know, I'm a little partial since I live in Missouri, but I mean, we're almost in the center of the U.S. Like, we could draw people from all over the U.S., and I think that's what's going to make the AAKC so big. I think guys were saying, hey, well, I don't have to go to California for this. I don't have to go way down south for this. I can go to Missouri, be, you know, central Missouri, be a couple hours from your house, if not, you know, maybe a day's travel. And I think that event's going to be huge too. Yeah,
and it's a big lake. I mean, we're lucky here in Missouri to have the lakes that we do. I talk to other anglers from other parts of the country, and, you know, some states, they only have 2 or 3 lakes, and they're kind of small lakes, like Taneycomo sized lakes. So they're not even very big lakes. So, you know, we're just spoiled down here. We're lucky. I mean, we're used to it. We got Table Rock, Stockton, Bull Shoals, you know, Palmy, Lake of the Ozarks, Truman. We got all these lakes, and we're just used to it. But to other people in other parts of the country, this is paradise.
Yeah. Man, we've got it good. I definitely got it good. So going back to the national championship, handing out plenty of awards. Josh, what are we going to eat, man?
Oh, at the state championship, we're going to have a nice little banquet set up there at the Indian Point Marina Pavilion. Big thanks to Indian Point for all their help, man. Once again, they just, you know, stepped right up and said, yeah, come on, guys, we'll hook you up. So thanks to those guys for that. But yeah, we're going to have some smoked brisket. And it's going to be cooked up fresh. So we're going to be eating pretty good.
That's cool, man.
And also, you know, I want to throw out, some other people have asked me this. And, you know, if your family wants to come, that's fine. If your wives, you know, children, bring them. You know, this is a family tournament series. Bring your family. They're welcome at every single tournament. So that's fine. And also, even for a couple of the wives who's asked, if you want to bring something, if you've got a dish that you want to make, you can bring some food. If you want to make some, you know, desserts or some sides or whatever, that's fine. The more food we got, the better it would be. So anyone that wants to do that's more than welcome.
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to bring it on and you know, join the festivities, eat some, bring some food, whatever you can do. Just make sure to come out and have a good time. Let's talk about, is there anything different on the Bass Nation or the state championship that is going to be different than our normal tournaments that we have during the season? Are there any different rules? Are there any specifics that we need to make sure we make a mental note of?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because we are going to go with the 12-inch minimum. The 12-inch minimum is going to be across the board for all championship tournaments. That's for Bass Nation. That's for the state championship. That's for the trail or the team trail championship. So the team, all 3 championships will have a 12-inch minimum. I mean, this is championship week, so we ain't playing around with dinks. We're going to be putting up at least a 12-inch fish on the board. So 12-inch minimum. Jim Harding, 12 inches. Okay, buddy. he always forgets. It's an inside joke. Just messing with you, buddy. But anyway, yeah, so there'll be a 12-inch minimum. As far as anything else goes, we will be doing the hourly big bass for the state championship. There won't be an hourly big bass for the Bass Nation side. There won't be an hourly big bass for the team championship. But for the Missouri State Championship, we're going to do an hourly big bass. And the way I've got this worked out is we're going to hand out $40 in cash per hour. And I'm bringing cash. I'm bringing a bunch of cash. We're going to give away cash this time. So guys, take good pictures, because I don't want to hand out a bunch of cash and then we have disputes and I got to come up with more money because we had to change the results. So take good pictures, because I'm going to give out some cash. So we're going to do $40 an hour, you know, per hour. That's 8 slots per day. And then at the end of the day, we're going to do a $100 overall big bass winner for day 1. Then when we go into day 2, we're going to do the same thing, $40 per hour overall. Day 2 winner will get a bonus of $100. Then the overall biggest bass of day 1 and day 2 combined, that fish is going to earn, I haven't got that number calculated yet, but it's going to be right around like $500 to add on to what they've already got from the 100 plus the 40. So big bass is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of cash handed out. So that's going to be cool too. So that's a little different than normal.
So what, you're looking at $640 if you have one big bass, because you'd get it for that hour.
At least
you'd get it that for that day, and then if you get it for the tournament, that's at least $640. Like, how cool is that, man?
And then you've got about 15 other people winning money at the same time. So we just want to make it to where a lot of people can get involved. You don't have to go out there and catch 100 inches. You can catch one decent fish, and you can take home a little bit of restaurant money, gas money, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, spending money. But that's also going to go by submission time. So it's not by the time stamp on your Tourney X, submission. It's when you submit it. So if you've got signal, I would submit your photos and don't sandbag, because there could be a lot of people that might not have signal and upload everything at the end of the day, and it's all going to go on that last hour slot. So it could be tough to win that last hour one. So I would submit your fish as you get them, and whenever they're submitted, that's the time slot that they'll be in.
So I know KBF, they do this as well, and there's some of their major tournaments, they do hourly big bass. How, on that level, how hard is it is it hard to look at that and say, hey, I've got a 20-inch fish, but I don't know if I want to submit it this hour? Do you guys do that on the water, or is it kind of just like, hey, I'm going to submit it and let the cards lay where they fall? Yeah,
there's some strategy to it. I mean, I've seen guys even get on Tourney X and look at the leaderboard and say, okay, what's the biggest bass this hour so far? Do I got it beat? Do I want to wait till the next hour? Do I want to submit this hour? It goes in the boat side of things too. When you're doing those big bass bashes, do you want to go in for that hour and do a weigh in, or do you want to stay out and go for the next round? So that kind of strategy comes into play, and that it does. But it can also kick you in the butt if you're not careful, because you may think you got a fish and you'll weigh it in the next hour because you'll get it for sure. And then somebody might catch a tank, and then you don't get nothing. And if you would have submitted it at first, you might have won something. So it's a roll of the dice, whatever you want to do, but that's how it's going to work.
Yeah, man, it'll be a good time to see some of those bags caught and some of those fish get submitted, and then see some of those guys,
Yeah, and we'll award all this on Sunday. This is all, we'll go through both days of the big bass winners, and we'll bring them up and hand them their money, at the award ceremony on Sunday.
Man, I'm ready. I'm jacked up. I'm excited about this weekend. A lot of
stuff. Giving away a kayak too.
Holy smokes.
A new canoe Flint. Thanks to Everhart's Outdoors, again, we're going to just give away a kayak. So it's going to be a nice rig. It could be an upgrade for somebody that's competing. So, or maybe something you could just have for your, significant other, whatever you want to do with it. But yeah, and this is no cheesy kayak. This is a good one. This is the new canoe Flint. I've been in one, and it's a pretty comfortable ride, pretty stable kayak.
They're pretty sweet. There's a lot of stuff you can do to those to modify them and make them not your typical kayak. They're pretty cool.
Yep.
That's exciting. Well, man, what else you got for us? What else you got going on this weekend that we didn't talk about?
Oh, man, I have been so busy with getting everything ready and the All-American, so I'm probably forgetting 100 things like normal. But, I just I'm really working hard to make sure that this award ceremony is going to be, a good time. I hope everybody enjoys it, and I hope everybody catches a lot of fish on the water, and this ends up being a great tournament. So, normally this time of the year, Table Rock is on fire. So to hear that the bite may be slow, or, the weather changing, we've got that front coming in, could be throwing some things up there. At least the water's down this year, but, I'm still confident the guys are going to catch a lot of fish. I mean, it's Table Rock in October. I mean, they're going to be feeding up for winter, especially with that cold snap kicking them in the butt. So they ought to get moving.
Yep, should be a good time. Should be fun to watch. Can't wait to get in there. Let's get Richie McMichael on here. Let's get Troy on here. Let's talk about some of the national championship, and then we'll get into more of the state championship going on this weekend.
Yeah, let's hear what they got to say about Table Rock too.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Guys, we got some gentlemen with us. We got Josh with us. We're going to get after it, talk some Table Rock. We've got Mr. McNasty, Richie McMichael with us, and your defending state championship, Mr. Troy Enke. Troy just pulled out the trophy, got it all dusted off, and he was about to pour himself a drink. What's up, guys? How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Great. Yeah, thanks for having us on, man.
I know all the three of you guys have had a jam-packed week with being at the National Championship, and see you guys doing some work down there and representing Moyak. Josh, let's start off with you, man. How was that event for you? Tell us about your experience there.
The National Championship's always a unique experience to go to. It's, one of the biggest events of the year in the country. And, us going down there together as a team, 3 of us were on the team Real Tree Fishing. So, I mean, the whole group, actually 4 of us with Marty. So, we all worked together. We had a great time practicing, had a great time hanging out at the cabin. I mean, and that's one of the things I love about hitting the road with the gang and, going to these new lakes. We'll break it down together and try and figure it out. And I think we did a good job of it.
Yeah, you guys did great. It's good to see you guys representing down there. Richie, man, what was your highlight of the week?
Well, I think my highlight of the week is just normally I go to these tournaments long distance away by myself, because I don't like trailering. I hate trailers. It's just easier just to go by yourself. You can park in many different spots, but I trailered down with Marty Hughes this time because he was having some issues and stuff, so he needed someone to ride. So just going down there, fishing, getting to know Marty better, learning from Marty because he's been doing this for a long time. So that's kind of been my highlight, just hanging out with everybody, getting to know. I haven't really met Troy that much or talked to him that much, so kind of got to know him a little bit too. So highlights just getting she's like, sorry, but just getting to know those guys, spending a week with Marty and finishing in the top 10. So
yeah, congratulations on that too, man.
Thanks, man. That was, it was a grind for me. The fish weren't jumping in the boat because I caught probably maybe 7 keepers day 1, 8 day 2, day 3 I caught a lot more, but we were just around the right size fish, so not numbers, but
it was really cool watching you guys. I was at work and I probably shouldn't have been watching you guys, but it was really cool watching you guys move up and down that leaderboard and watching you guys get your limits. And Troy, I was watching your score and just like waiting for you to get that 5th fish. I remember posting Jeff Mellencamp got there on Facebook. He's like, Enke's got 5, let's go, time to Cole, and it's really like, it felt like, you guys really represented Moyak for us, and very proud of you guys. How are you feeling about going into the state championship this week? Just coming off a national championship. I'm sure you're a little worn out, but I'm sure you're excited about it.
Oh, I was ready to go about 48 hours after I got home, but work always gets in the way. So I'm looking forward to it, guys. I haven't been on Table Rock since I think May, so I have no idea. The only thing I'm hearing is that it's fishing tough. I'm hearing that you can catch some numbers in certain areas, but I'm looking forward to trying to solve the puzzle. But I'm going to have to do it without any practice at all. So, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm doing the same way. No practice. I'm just going down there, go fishing.
Yeah,
well, at least it's not flooded this time.
I'm going to go look for some hydrilla, and I'm going to throw a jackhammer all day.
I'm going to throw a jackhammer forever now.
You're going to get a phone call from Mr. Joshua Booth saying you're on Taney Como and you need to get on Table Rock. Troy, how was the national championship for you, and what was your highlight as well?
The highlight for me was Kayla's breakfast burritos and Darian's cheeseburgers. That just set the tone for the whole week. I didn't have to think about it, how I was going to feed myself. It was just grab and go, and then we could focus on the task at hand. And no, really, I'll echo what the guys said. The camaraderie. If any of you ever get the chance to go, if you qualify, try to do whatever you can do to make it to the national championship, because Chad Hoover and his crew, they put on a great show, and the venue was second to none. It was beautiful. Lake Guntersville Lodge. It was like if Bass Pro had a lodge on Guntersville, it was like that. I mean,
it was really nice, and the balconies and everything. It was incredible.
Yeah, Table Rock needs to do something like that, because that was a showpiece, and you can tell they put on a lot of tournaments. and that the whole community is centered around fishing, and everybody you meet, they're willing to talk fishing. All the locals were nice. The locals were nice. I didn't. On the water, I didn't see a whole lot of anglers, but I did have some really good interactions with some bass boat guys, and it was a lot of fun. And it's always good to go try to learn a different body of water. And fortunately, the team Realtree, we all came together, and they really we all worked together. I feel. And we were so close to winning. It was so close, and I hope I get invited back next year because we're going to get that title back.
Yes, we are, for sure. You're going to be on Caddo next year.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I know for me personally, like, I am honored to be in a club like Moyak that has sticks like you guys and guys that go off and compete in these national championships, and we hold our weight. It makes me feel better. It gives me a boost of confidence. This is my second year doing it, but I mean, all those first year and second guys, I mean, you're the heroes, guys. And I know me personally, I want to say thank you guys for doing it, for representing Moyak, and it jacked me. Like, I'm jacked up for the state championship. I'm jacked up for the AAKC just from watching you guys, fish all last week. And we're glad to have you part of our family and being part of Moyak.
Well, it really meant a lot to us seeing all the Facebook posts, you guys updating and rooting us on. That really meant a lot to us. So
yeah,
it does. It motivates you for sure.
Yeah, it did.
When you're traveling to your 10th spot or going back up and down that ridge again, and you're traveling and you're just trying to get a little boost of energy, and maybe you open up Facebook and you see all those posts. I mean, that keeps you going, and people are rooting for you and praying for you and just want the best for you, and there's nothing like that. There's no other feeling. So thank you, Moyak Nation. Thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. It meant the world to us. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, and also thank you to all the Moyak guys at the national championship who conducted themselves in a professional manner and represented Moyak on the road as well, because, these guys are showing what Moyak's all about by the way they conduct themselves. So I'm proud of that too. So thanks, guys.
So let's talk about the state championship. Let's get into Table Rock. I know
Do it.
A lot of guys are excited about it. Richie, you said that you're not going to get to pre-fish much, but you'll be out there, and it seems like this event is what a lot of guys look forward to at their season. They may not make a lot of events, but they're looking forward to the state championship and getting together with the boys and fishing. And what are you looking? I mean, are you looking forward to meeting up with the guys? Are you looking forward to fishing? Is it just everything about it that you enjoy?
For me, man, it's everything about it. The fishing, the competition, meeting new people. Because I know I'm going to be going down there Friday night, hanging out with a few guys. We're staying at the Harper Valley Resort if they have any left. So, and man, just being a part of the Missouri State Championship and getting an opportunity to even compete for it, it means a lot to me. So I'm excited. When I got home, we got home late Saturday, and I kind of just, laid around Sunday and rested. But after work Monday, I was in Table Rock mode. I was in my garage. I was restringing rods. I was trying to figure out what my game plan was. So I'm pumped for it.
Awesome. I mean, we just got back from the national championship, but my intention is really to try and turn this tournament into a little bitty mini championship for Missouri like that. A pretty good elite event that people don't have to go travel to Guntersville to go attend. They can still get a taste of it, right here in Missouri. So I hope we can get a good amount of people signed up and we'll have a pretty good payout too.
Yeah, it'd be sweet to get some guys out there, get some names, get some, the payouts would be great. But just the camaraderie is going to be the best. Richie, I'm pulling up Tourney X right now, kind of looking at, trying to figure out what you did. Do you remember what you did last year at the state championship?
I'm sure he knows.
Yeah, it was 6th or 7th, I do believe.
I remember that I was sitting in the front row.
Oh, go ahead. I was 4th at the championship, 7th in the KBF event. So
I'm sitting in the front row, and you and Lance Burris, and I think it was Mike, and then Troy was further down. But I heard you and Lance and Mike talking about throwing your whopper plopper all day. Lance made that comment, like, if it's any later in the year, I'm going to be mad because I'm going to have to pull more leaves off my whopper plopper. And I know Mr. Enke, he caught quite a few on that as well. Is that, I mean, do you feel like that's a staple for Table Rock? Do you feel like that's just something that's confidence for you?
No, it only worked one weekend. I wouldn't throw it anymore. I think if you do throw it, you got to throw it on a drop shot.
Oh,
yeah. I think the bass on Table Rock love a plopper no matter what. I mean, it just works there. I mean,
I think it doesn't matter what Ozark Lake I'm on in the fall. I'm gonna be throwing that whopper plopper. So
yeah. finishing 4th and then 7th in the KBF. I mean, you've got some room to work on that to get up into Mr. Enke's spot that he's holding down. Troy, how is that? Have you taken care of that trophy? Has it been displayed proudly? How's that going for you this year?
I can't hear you over the magnificence. Yeah, we made the move. We moved to a different house a couple months ago, and I made sure that rode in the front seat with me all the way. So I'm taking care of it. No, I'm looking forward to trying to defend my title, but I'll tell you, I'm just looking forward to trying to catch a limit because I hear Table Rock's fishing kind of tough. Depending on who you are, if your name is not Huey or
Harding.
Not Harding. So I have no idea what those guys are doing. I just know that they live on the lake and they're out there all the time. And 9 times out of 10, if Jim is posting a picture, it's Table Rock bass. So he's going to be on them no matter what. So speaking of that, let's talk about. If I can, let's talk about predictions. Who do you guys like for some top 10 finishers?
Oh man, I think it's going to be the top 10 in AOI. Those guys have been doing strong all year, so that's what I'm going to put my money on. All 10 of our guys going to the All-American. I got my money on the All-American gang.
Okay.
I mean, Troy, it's tough to go. You had 94 inches on the first day. 94, man. And like the next closest guy was Lance Burris with 81, man. If you have a semi decent day, man, you're a force to be reckoned with.
No. Now you mentioned Mr. Burris. Present company excluded. Nobody in Moyak scares me more than that man because there's a story behind that. If you remember, Lance could only fish a partial day because he had to go to his brother's wedding.
Yeah.
He did not fish on the second day, I don't believe, but if he did, it was very little, and he would have destroyed me had he had a full day fishing. So if anybody scares me, it's Lance Burris.
Definitely. He ended up with 81 inches for both days.
Okay. But I believe his day one was cut short by about 5 hours. I don't think he got a complete day in that day.
I think you're correct.
That's crazy.
Another guy that's coming on strong. The last 3 tournaments, if you look, Moyak standings, you got to think about a Zach Reynolds. I mean, he's been in the top 5. You got to think about a DJ Williams. That guy's, he's coming on strong. So, I mean, we've got some great rookies in this league that are hungry. We got some people that feel like they didn't do what they. I mean, look at a Michael Sandlin. That guy, he was like in the 3rd place or something last year. I believe he's fishing again this year. So
yeah.
I mean, we got. It's a challenge every single time we go out. There's no cakewalk unless your name is Huey or Harding, right?
I think I got my money on Jim. I think if I had to say, I think he's going to sneak out there. He's hungry. He hasn't been up there much this year like he usually is, and I think he's going to make a move. And because he's the quiet assassin, you never hear him coming, and he'll just whip out 100 inches on you.
I was going to say Jim Harding. It's going to be perfect weather for the tough fishing for his Lucky Craft jerk baits and baits. I think he's going to do pretty well. I also think Brian Hillman's due, and he lives pretty close to Taylor. So I think he's going to do I think he's going to do.
I think I've heard of him.
So
you heard of that guy?
Does he even fish anymore?
I think so. Did he? Yeah, I think so.
So looking at another guy that finished well in May when we were at Table Rock was Tommy Probst. He's been doing solid. Just another guy that he's been, I think he's consistent. I think he's got a couple tournaments where he's been in the top 10, right there, in the money. He's another guy that he may, figure something out. And I'm pretty sure he's close to there down there too. I know he fishes Taney quite a bit, but he's another guy that you might want to look out for.
Absolutely.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And talking about going down there with no practice, sounds like both of you are kind of in the same situation. I'll ask both of you, what are you most concerned with going down for this tournament? I mean, what's in the back of your mind that's got you most worried? I have to start with you, Troy.
Okay, so where are the bait fish? Where are we in the fall transition? Are they scattered? If they're scattered, can we find any kind of a pattern to develop off of? Can we try not to get spun out if we don't have a bite in the first 2 hours? All those things that go through your head. Did I choose the right place? All that kind of stuff. So I'm not going to have a Josh Booth sitting out on a mat and saying, come on out, let's go fishing. I'm on them. So I'm going to have to do, like I did last year and try to make a good decision and land on some quality fish. Cause that's what I did last year. I mean, I practiced up a river. I didn't feel right. I got out on the main lake area and it worked. And I caught some really quality fish in practice. I didn't practice on the day before the tournament at all. And I just committed to throwing that plopper all day. And between the plop and the jig, that worked. Now, you can't fish history. You're going to get bit if you fish history. So I'm not going to say I'm not going to go back there, but it's probably not likely that I go back there because I think that we're in a different time of year. And I think that the fish are setting up differently than they did last year. The conditions aren't going to be the same. We don't have that big front coming in. We don't have the wind, not as much wind as we had last year. I just think, and the temperature, the water temperature, all that's different. So this game, it's constantly changing. You cannot go on what you did yesterday, even in some of these highland reservoirs. You just got to fish the moment. I hate using that term because it's overused, but
yeah,
you gotta fish what's given to you. And if you're fortunate enough to have a buddy out there that's pre-fishing this week, my hat's off to you because I think you're going to need all the information you can get. And I'll yield the floor to the right honorable gentleman, McMichael. McNasty.
Well, my main concern going in here is that how cold it's going to get overnight, Wednesday night and Thursday night. I think it's supposed to get in the 30s one night or something like that, and it's going to drop that water.
That big front coming through on Thursday.
So it's hard to say what that's going to do to the fish. Hope maybe it'll make it better, but yeah, like Troy said, you don't know. Those fish are going. I think those fish are going to be just like they were on Guntersville. Because I think they were scattered. They were in transition. That's why we were catching them on major highways or like their channels going off the main channel. They're just stacked up in those one or two areas. And normally I don't fish like that. I like to cover tons of water, but you want that time of year, you want to stay where those fish are going to be traveling through. So kind of where I usually fish is in a creek and back of the creek. So I just cover tons of water, and I just don't know if they're going to kind of move out because of that cold weather. But I'm not sure. But I think I'm probably going to I'll be honest, I'll probably have a white 90 whopper popper in my hand all day long. That's probably going to that's my plan anyway. So,
you mentioned about getting out on those channels and those major ways that they travel whenever they're moving back to feed and migrating. That can be a really key area to look for in a multi-day tournament like this. Since this is a 2-day tournament, you want to find an area that can reload with fish, and it's got fish moving through there both days. So that can be important too.
Yeah. And I think what other things concern me is I know Table Rock, certain sections of the lake are on fire sometimes and others aren't. Am I going to go to that my spot I go to, and it's just going to be dead. And if I do that, since it's so far, it'll take way too much time to kind of load up and go to a different part of the lake. Because it takes over an hour to get to one end of the lake to the other. So
yeah, it's a big lake.
But just kind of risk it and just go fishing and have fun. That's all you can do whenever you can't pre-fish. So unless, like Troy said, if you have a buddy out there fishing, it's like, sure, that'd be nice. But I don't think anyone wants to give up any information for this one. So
no, probably not. It is Moyak though, so who knows?
Guys,
I think we're giving out a bunch of information right now, actually.
Last year it was all whopper popper. Everybody knows that. It's just how people throw that whopper popper is the key to me. You gotta, last year what I did, I messed up. I left the hooks on. Shouldn't have left the old hooks on. You want the whopper popper. You want to take them off. You want to put like triple grip hooks on them or whatever, so you don't lose those fish. But
I remember you and Lance sitting there at the championship, lined up next to each other, talking about, do you change the hooks?
See what he's doing right there? That's what you need to do. I don't care if it's one extra fish you're going to catch a day, 2 extra fish. It's just those few extra inches you're going to get by doing the extra work.
It makes a difference. It really does.
Huge difference.
On all baits, having great hooks on and sharp hooks on everything is important.
Guys, well, I am excited about this weekend. I can't wait to see your faces in person. Richie, what else you got for us? Any words of advice? Any confidence builders for this weekend? What else, man?
It doesn't matter. Kind of just go out and fish your strengths. For me, fishing a bait that I'm confident in is everything. If I don't have any confidence in something, like day one at the national championship, I caught them a different way in practice. On the day one, I kind of got spun out because I wasn't catching them. I caught maybe one on a buzz bait, one on a bladed jig. But you just got to keep being confident, because I kept switching baits, and I finally found something that was working, and it saved my day one. I figured it out at the end of day one, and I kind of rolled it into day 2 and 3. But just fish what your confidence with. If you don't have any confidence, you're not going to win. And if you're coming to this tournament, if you don't think that you're going to win it, then you're probably not. So it's just about, I think fishing is a lot to have to do with your mindset and the way you think, because if you don't think you're going to win, then you're not going to win. But if you have confidence, anything can happen. So
that's right. That's good advice.
Troy, what's your pep talk that you give yourself going into the tournament morning that guys don't maybe talk to themselves about or think about before they go into the tournament?
It goes through my mind every day that I'm out there, and it's just keep firing. You can't catch them if you don't have a bait in the water, unless they're jumping in the boat, and that never happens to me. So, like Richie said, fish your strengths, fish your confidence baits. Don't listen to doc talk. Don't listen to us. Do not listen to us, because we're gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you what they're biting on. But I'm saying, fish your strengths and have a good time, and don't take it too serious. Hey, guys, it's just fishing. And if you want to sleep in, that's cool too. Sleep in, get your rest.
I'm good at that.
Don't worry about that early morning bite. I'll take care of the rest.
It's overrated.
Yeah.
One other thing people need to be concerned about, come prepared. It's supposed to be cold. The water's getting colder. It's going to be windy. And if you're not comfortable, you don't have the right gear on, you're not going to be successful. So
that's a bad day.
Yeah. My suggestion would be to pay attention on that wind direction and wind speed, and pick your areas accordingly, and make sure. Table Rock has a lot of places where you can get out of the wind. There's a lot of banks that'll block the wind and protect you, but you got to find them. And so I would be thinking about that, because you don't want to get caught out in the open on a 15, 20 mile per hour wind on Table Rock. It's not going to be fun.
And it's supposed to come out of the north in practice, but on tournament day, it's supposed to switch out of the south. So people, and it's supposed to be a little bit windier on Saturday, I think. So
that'll make it a challenge.
Yes.
Well, guys, thanks again for being on here. Really appreciate it. Again, congratulations on your guys' success at the National Championship. Really appreciate you guys being part of the Moyak family here. Good luck Saturday. I hope you guys knock them out. I hope I do a little bit better than you guys, but I still hope you guys do very well.
You're due, brother.
Can't wait to see you guys on Saturday. It's going to be a great time. Josh, what else you got for these guys, man?
Nothing. I'm ready to get this thing going too. I'm excited to get this, see who's going to catch what. I'm ready to get this award ceremony going on. I mean, it's kind of bittersweet being our final event of the year, but I'm looking forward to seeing everybody Sunday.
Are you cooking everybody Sunday? You grilling?
Yeah, we're gonna have some brisket. I'm smoking brisket for everybody. We're going all out. We're gonna eat good.
So we've got the Missouri State Championship, the Missouri Bass Nation Championship. We've got the Team Trail Championship. What else gets decided at this championship of champions?
Sportsman of the Year. I'm going to figure out who that's going to be too. But yeah, it's going to be a heck of a day. I mean, we got all of the end of the year awards, all the awards from the day, the Bass Nation, the State Championship. I mean, it's going to be a fun award ceremony.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun weekend. So
get
signed up.
Yeah, go get signed up, and I'll see you guys there.
All right. Guys, thanks again so much. See you guys this weekend, and let's tear them up, huh?
Awesome.
Go get them, guys.
Cool. We'll talk to you guys later.